Hey guys, welcome to the Hey DJ Show. I'm your host, DJ Jimenez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're over on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more content. You can catch this podcast wherever you get your podcasts on the go, And do consider following me on every social media platform. With all that boring stuff out of the way, I'm really happy to introduce my next guest, Michael Donisi Jr. Mike, how are you doing, man?
Hello.
Hey, man.
I don't think I'm a junior. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat, because to be a junior, don't you have to have the same middle name?
Do you?
Well, that's what I've been led to believe my entire life.
I actually do. I thought junior, honestly, was if your dad is named, like your dad's name Michael, and then your name is Michael, so that he's senior, you're junior. That's what I thought.
Well,
I don't know about middle name, because you don't go by your middle name. I'm not going to put that on the thumbnail. I'm going to let you know.
That's true. I'm just saying, I don't know. Maybe somebody can let us
know. And I did
know.
Interview your dad, so.
I know.
I put senior.
Maybe some qualms with the labeling of senior and junior. I just wanted to. Okay, great start. Nice. It's great to be here, guys. Michael Anthony Donisi here.
Okay, I didn't know. I mean, it's not that Anthony's like, you know how the stereotype with middle name being embarrassing. Anthony's not really embarrassing.
I actually like it. It kind of flows nice. Sounds like a pop singer from like the 80s, like Michael Anthony,
Your initials is MAD. That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
My buddy Brady, who was on the show before you, his initial spells bad. And I'm like, that's pretty bad ass. And I lost subscribers.
Don't quit your day job. Oh, wait.
Okay. But actually, so you're a first-time dad. I'm doing the Father's Day special.
That I know of. I'm just kidding.
I made that joke.
First-time dad. For real, first-time dad.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, true.
But what I was gonna say is, I kind of want to talk about the middle name just for a little bit, just because I've known you for years. Where did Anthony come from?
Anthony was my grandpa's name on my dad's side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because, I mean, I don't know the logistics of it. I always thought middle name was given to, say, like, okay, you have a son and you're not going to name him after you. So your name as a father is going to be the son's middle name. That's what I assume. Because my brother, Checkley, his middle name's Hector, which is my dad's name. So I figured, it's always the firstborn son or daughter that gets the mom's name or the dad's name. Me, I was a second. So I have no middle name.
I actually think there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, a lot of thought went into Checkley's name because, he was planned.
Wow. So we're going there. We're going there.
No, wait, no. I'm just. I didn't
before the show, you asked me to keep it PG because you're a teacher. Might have to bump that up a little bit.
Okay. I'm sorry. I had to get that out of the way. I had to break the ice. Yes.
I know. Okay. Man, I was so mad when you guys discovered that you guys were over, and I remember that. Oh man, like, so for people who don't know, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, might as well steer into it. I was not planned as a baby, and it was funny. And I don't mind that I wasn't planned. What I mind was, I almost cussed there. This guy was over at my house with my other friend, and I consider you my brother. And literally, my mom was telling the story, and she said to my older brother, "It's like, no, you were planned. He wasn't." And I looked at my mom, and I looked at him, and his face lit up like, I just have like the greatest burn that I'm never gonna let down. And I looked at my mom like, why?
I waited all these years for you to get your podcast and then have me on as a guest. It's really a privilege to be here.
Oh, bull crap. You ripped on me several times. Whatever school, fire him. No, I'm just kidding. Great guy. Probably great teacher. All right. Anyways, we just wasted a couple of minutes. Anyways, so Mike, I've known you for years. I grew up with you. I've known you. We've been best friends since the 6th grade. Uh, and now you're a dad. So that's also your first time dad that you know of. So now, let's just get it out of the way. What's it like being a dad? I know it's cliche, but what's it like, man?
Pretty cool. Okay, next.
That's it.
What? That's it? We're done? All right.
All right, we're done.
What's it like being a dad? Well, it's
Here, put the microphone.
it's
a little
great.
bit.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Yeah. No, you're good.
It's great. Okay? It's awesome. But I tell you what, all right? Everything I say in this interview, all right, is totally is just me personally, because
Well, you can only speak for yourself.
I am the luckiest person alive. My child is, as far as I know, the greatest child of all time. The greatest child of all time. This baby is, we have been blessed with the most well-behaved, sweetest baby. Sweetest, not Swedish. Okay, she's not Swedish. But we have been blessed with the sweetest baby of all time. She naps well. She's so happy. Today, she shared a wafer with me. Okay, I cannot tell you how much joy this brought me. My little baby is sitting there eating a wafer. Okay, the baby's got these little wafers, and you put it in their mouth, and it dissolves. So they can't choke on it. She's eating a wafer, and I was messing around with her, and I went up to her, and I was like, "Hey, baby." I started pointing at my mouth. I was like, and then pointing at the wafer and going like, chomp, 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 chomp. And she took the wafer and put it in my mouth. I mean, she might have been trying to shut me up now that I'm thinking about it. But I really think she was learning to share. And boy, oh boy, was that a cool moment, man, when she shared her wafer with me. So, yeah, it's little things like that is just really cool, man. Being a father has been so cool. It's you know what? Honestly, I will tell you this. It is a relief, I will say.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've never really heard anybody describe it like that. Whenever anybody's talking about being a parent, they talk about how tough it is. And like I said, I'm luckiest guy alive because it has not been very tough. It was tough in the very beginning, but now it's very nice. But what I mean by relief is, you spend, well, my whole life up to this point just thinking about, okay, what do I got to do to have the best life for me, to make my mark on the world or whatever. But then the moment you have this child, it's like, well, that doesn't really matter anymore. So in a way, obviously you have a life in your care, which puts a lot of pressure on you and can bring a lot of stress. But at the same time, it is, for me, rather relieving to know that I don't have to go win a prize in mathematics or, get my PhD, become some a great mathematician to have a fulfilling life. Now that I have this baby, I'm good. I raise the baby, be the best father that I can be. That it's like finding your purpose, I guess. I found mine, to be a father to this child. So it is great. Boy, I'm a happy guy. Yes. There you go.
Dang, dude. That's a powerful, almost custom there. That's some powerful stuff there, man. Dang.
I told him just to be transparent here. I told him, I said, listen, buddy, we cannot cuss on this podcast because, well, you know me, I never cuss anyway. But don't respond to that. But
so hard.
I told him, I said, listen, buddy, we can't cuss on this podcast because my students are definitely gonna find this podcast and they're gonna watch it. So you gotta keep it PG. Okay? We have to keep PG. Because even though I have no social media or anything like that, still somehow students find out stuff about me.
It's fine. It's fine.
Last semester I had a class and they told me where I honeymooned. They told me where I honeymooned.
Wait, that being said, how? Is there a video on?
I don't know, buddy.
Or Alyssa?
That might be it. I have no clue. All I know is they started telling me, they're like, hey, Mr. Nisi, we found this out about you. We found this out about you. Oh, you honeymooned in Jamaica. That's cool. Oh, Mr. Nisi, you went here. Oh,
That's
you made the.
That's kind of scary.
That's what I told them. I said, don't do this. And they said, you were on the dean's list your final year of college. I was like, what?
Did they really say that?
Yes. This is true.
That's really
and it
scary.
freaked me out. And I told them, they're great kids. They're great. It was a class of 4. There were 4 of them.
I forget. Do you teach high school or middle school?
High school.
High school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful kids. But it was just hilarious to me. I didn't care.
What about that one kid that you were bad mouthing, Steve? You know.
Oh, Steve.
That'd be so funny. Do you really have a kid named Steve? That'd be so funny.
Well, hold on. I teach 80 students. I'm sure one of them's named Steve.
That'd be so funny. It's like if there was one Steve and I just name dropped him, he's like, "What?" I'm just kidding. Well, no, if there's a kid named Steve, he didn't say anything. I'm just joking.
I didn't say anything. I never badmouth my students.
What about that one kid, Abigail?
Dominic, there's no Abigail. Quit reaching.
I am reaching. Okay. I'm sorry. But no, that's actually kind of scary with privacy. I'm normally a private dude, you know that. With this show.
Boy, you picked the right thing doing podcasts.
See, well, it's okay. I'm not hiding or anything, but it's that saying hiding in plain sight kind of thing. Even though I'm not hiding anything, I kind of control what I put out there, you know. And it's not like I live a scandalous life or anything. It's just okay, here's what I choose to put out there, but I still have my private life in a sense. So, but I will tell you, I'll say flat out, and for those who know me, I hate social media. If I could do this show, not have social media, that'd be awesome. But it's how you got to get out there.
That's true. Yeah, you kind of have to do that.
I do. Out of all the social media, I mean, I'm more on Facebook. I do have a presence there, and Instagram. Instagram is probably the best one. I do like Snapchat because I'm a picture hoarder. I like taking a picture, and it's gone in 24 hours. Perfect. Twitter, I do not have a presence there. I do not care about Twitter, but I have it. Just whatever.
That gone in 24 hours. You really think it's gone in 24 hours? You really think it's gone? No, Dominic, it's somewhere.
Okay, even if it's somewhere, again, it's not like I take scandalous picture. Trust me. Want to say some stuff, but I can't. Okay. See, I'm mad that I even have you on the show. My show's supposed to be.
Thanks, buddy. The hospitality. I had to go and get my own coffee, guys. I had to.
Hey, I offered coffee. I'm supposed to have the show and be able to express myself and have it be freedom, not be restricted.
Too bad.
It's a challenge, but it's fun. But no, dude, honestly, that's awesome. I had your wife, who I consider my sister-in-law, Alyssa, on the show, and hearing her talk about, baby Olivia and how that joke where she was telling you how, hey, listen, when she comes into this world, your life's going to change and all this. You're not going to be playing Apex as much as you did with Zach, and that still hasn't happened yet.
Oh, that's true. It's not as much, but it's still when she goes to bed, you still that's the thing is, and that's what's good about my job too. I will say, and
your job as in your job or
my job as a teacher.
Okay,
is that I get off work at I usually stay an hour late, so but I'll get home usually around 5, something like that. And so I have plenty of time to, and then Olivia goes down at around 8:30. So I have a lot of time in the day and my schedule is set. So it's very nice, we keep her on a schedule, napping schedule and things like that. And I'm not really a schedule guy, but the baby kind of needs one. Just recently, our little girl started getting off her schedule because, we just moved. Mm-hmm. We just bought a home, right? So...
Which again, congrats.
Thanks.
You're a homeowner.
Thanks. And so we had her on 2 naps a day, and then she would sleep. I mean, I'm telling you, best baby, right? She would sleep maybe 8 hours at night. So 2 naps and 8 hours at night. That's phenomenal. Are you kidding me? But the past couple of days, she's only been taking 1 nap, and she can stand now. Oh, it's the cutest thing in the world.
Oh, she can.
Oh my goodness. She pulls up. She could pull up and then hold herself up and stand. She can't quite balance yet.
Yeah.
But she's pulling up on everything in her crib too. So that's the thing, is her mind is so active at this age. You know, she's 10 months. And so she's pulling up and standing in her crib, and it's stopping her from going to sleep because all she wants to do is just stand. And but yesterday or last night she slept very well. We're trying to get her back on the routine. It's very important. So, yes.
Nice. Yeah, I was when I was talking to my buddy Bethany about it. I was trying to say like, oh, at, kind of what age do they start to, I guess crawl, walk, or whatever. But I guess she's crawling though, right? Now that she can stand, she does crawl.
Oh yeah, that came first. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how
That's how it kind of works. You crawl and you stand. And
I don't know. I wonder what like in their head if they feel like some sort of accomplishment, like, whoa, this is the coolest thing ever. Oh man, I can stand.
I really think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Now I don't remember. You don't remember. We don't remember that stuff.
No.
But I really think so.
Like, I am the coolest and most powerful thing in the world. Nothing can stop me.
Yeah.
That's. I wonder what goes on in their head. Is she vocal? Is she starting to make noises and stuff, like laughing and?
Oh my gosh, yes. Let me tell you, folks, a baby's laugh. If you don't know what a baby's laugh, like have seen a baby laugh, oh, it is the best thing on earth. It is the greatest thing. Oh my goodness, their laugh is so cute. Oh, it's so sweet. And that is has been my whole, like, every moment I'm with her is just trying to make her laugh, pretty much, trying to make her laugh because it's so cute and her smile is great. She's just such a happy baby. She's got little teeth coming in, so she's got like 2 on the bottom and there's 1 coming in up top. So,
how is that? Like, is she doing fine with the teething?
She is again. She's doing better than most. Everything. I mean, people really, boy, they put the fear in you. Okay,
they really do. That's why it's such like. Honestly, a couple of months ago, just hearing, you talk about Olivia and hearing Alyssa talk about Olivia, like you guys literally hit the lottery on that, and it's a perfect contrast to hearing people go like, especially in Hollywood and in the media and stuff, where they'll talk about like, oh man, restless nights, and they always look like a mess. But you two seem to be kind of chill. Like you said, it was kind of rough in the beginning, but I pin that more because you're first-time parents. I have no doubt that if you guys decide to have another kid, it's going to be a little bit smoother.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and Alyssa had a tough time.
Yeah,
in the delivery.
Yeah, she went into detail about it, which it was really scary. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I think people really I guess it's good. I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm just telling you what was happening with my baby. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to make any sweeping. It's my first kid. You know what I'm saying? And like, we hit the jackpot. So I don't want to make any sweeping generalizations.
Yeah.
I don't want people to say, have a kid and then be like, oh, my kid is not like that. What are you talking about? This guy's a hack. No. I am not a parental expert. Okay. I just want to say that. So
yeah. All right. So moving on, obviously no regrets. You're really happy with Olivia and Alyssa and all that. I've known you for years, but this is mainly for my audience. Did you always want to be a dad? Was there a moment in your life where you were just like, kind of headstrong like me, where you're like, nah, I don't want a kid. Like, I don't think I'd be fit for it.
When I was 5 years old, I didn't want a kid. But
shots fired.
But for the most of my life, yes, I wanted a kid. Always wanted a kid.
But why did you want a kid? Like,
well, I mean, I'm a teacher. I guess it's kind of ego. I guess, I don't know. You tell me. I'm not a psychologist.
Definitely ego.
Hey, I agree. But I think having a miniature version of you that you can teach and watch grow and kind of help mold, and it hasn't been that, like, since I've had my child, that is the furthest thing from my mind. Like I said, now it's just about, I don't care about that. It's just taking care of this baby and the sense of purpose of, like, my world revolves around her now. And but my whole life, that's what I wanted. You know, I taught martial arts at a very young age. I teach now. I taught rock climbing for a little bit. And so I've always been teaching. And so the idea of having, I guess, like the perfect apprentice is your own kid, because, you know, they're the one you're going to spend the most time with. I was like, okay, that's cool. So I always wanted a kid. I never in a million years thought I'd have a little girl, but it's not like I can control that, you know?
Man, you're
We tried. I wore socks. But, you know,
did you really look up some stuff? It was like, hey, how to increase your chances? That like How I Met Your Mother episode.
Maybe. Okay. But
no, I'm sorry. I have to get this on the record. Did you really? Did you at least look up like, hey,
some stuff? I wanted a boy, and
I think every guy wants a boy. Like I think it's natural, and every woman wants a daughter.
Yeah, Alyssa always wanted a little girl, and I always wanted a little boy. However, that changed. So before we found out if the baby was boy or girl, Kobe had passed. Okay, in the helicopter accident, I was right? Like, and you know, Kobe has checkered past. All right, not even whatever. That's neither here nor there. What I'm interested in is, you know, by all accounts, he was a wonderful father to his little girls, including the one that tragically passed with him on the helicopter. So he was a wonderful father. He was talking about how he was so proud to be a father of girls, and he was a girl dad. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. And so before we found out Olivia was a girl, I had changed my mind. I was like, you know what? Actually, I kind of want a little girl. I think that's cool. You know, what's the difference? I mean, it's not like if I have a boy, I could teach him martial arts, and the girl I'd have to teach ballet. I could teach her martial arts or whatever. Like, what do I care so much about here? And I was like, and then one thing, Olivia won't pee on me. A little boy will pee. You know, and pee goes everywhere. So I'm like, okay, we have to buy one of those little umbrella things when you change the diapers. I don't know. And so I was like, yeah, I want a little girl. I think that'd be cool. And that's what happened. So it's great.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, like you said, just because you have a boy or girl doesn't mean they can't do, you know, sports stuff like martial arts, whatever it may be. No, yeah. But that's really cool. I mean, granted, obviously I'm not a dad. I'm not close to being a dad, but I still have it in my head that I would like a boy, but obviously if I have a daughter, I'm still gonna be just as happy. It's gun to your head. Which one would you rather have? Like, all right, I think I want a boy first, and then a girl.
You truly won't care. Yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
When you find out what the baby is, and when the baby's born, you will not care.
Yeah.
If you do, you shouldn't be a parent. Honestly, right. You know, and that's kind of sad. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are probably disappointed. I won't say a lot. I don't know. Maybe a handful.
One is still too many.
One is too many. It's like, you know, they have a daughter and they're just like, ugh. Or they feel like they got to keep trying for another one. It's
the only thing I will say. I mean, this, you know, I'm not gonna go into too much detail about it because we could literally spend hours. Is the only reason why I would be scared to having a daughter is when she gets of that age where, you know, like she's interested in boys and boys are interested in her, and it's like with social media and all that stuff, the stuff that we see, that's the only thing that I think scares any dads, is because we know what's out there. But I'm willing to bet that if I were to interview your dad again, he would probably say that's like, oh, that fear doesn't go away. I was there before social media. That fear was still there and kind of stuff.
True.
I'm willing to bet that.
I will say, and I'm not. I want to think too far ahead. My little girl's only 10 months, and who knows what she'll be like. You know.
Yeah.
I will say that being a teacher, you know, I teach juniors and seniors, and you know, like half or a little more than half of my students are girls, and you know, everyone's on social media, I guess. It's all they talk about on their phones or whatever. And I mean, I have a lot of great students, very well adjusted, kind, sweet students. I think that's a fear that we have to give kids more credit, in the sense that this is the world that they're growing up with.
Yeah.
They can adapt. We just have to teach them how to adapt, how to be responsible, sensible people. And then we don't have to worry about that so much. Obviously, there are things that you have to worry about. There's some truly despicable people in the world. Yes. But, arming your child with the wisdom and the wherewithal to avoid those type of situations and be a responsible person is the best thing you could do. And so I think, you just have to give the kids much more credit, okay? Because I think they kind of have a grasp on things, and they learn how to be responsible, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even though, I don't know what they're on, kids these days, TikToks and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all crazy to me. Checkley will send us one of these TikToks, right? And, I'll click on it, and sometimes it'll be funny. Sometimes I won't. Sorry, Checkley. Okay. But then afterwards it shows like generic TikToks or whatever that he didn't send us, and they're horrendous. They're really vile things. I'm like, what in the world is this, man? Very inappropriate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling this to one of my classes. I was talking to a couple of my students. It's like, this TikTok, what's this all about? And I was telling them that story, and they said, oh, you're on, like, that shows you the generic stuff, but they were telling me that on their TikToks, they
you can filter.
Yeah, they like get information and stuff. Like, they learn stuff about one of my students is great artist, and they were telling me about how on their TikTok there was a lot of art stuff. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. You didn't convince me. I'm too old for that. Okay.
Yeah.
You get to be our age. All right. You're included in this.
Yeah.
You're too old for a few things, backwards caps. You're too old for like a nose ring, and you're too old for TikTok. Okay.
Man, you're shaming somebody right now. There's somebody right now who's 28, and it's like, man, I've been like, really want to get a nose ring. I've always wanted one. They see this video, they say, and they're about to, and then they're like, I'm too old. I'm
just saying, that's in my...
Or that rebellion. It's like, man, screw you, Mike.
I'm sorry. You're too old. You're too old. Maybe not for backwards cap. Okay. Come on. You're not going to watch me wear, but you're too old for those hats.
I'm going to take a picture. I bet
you're too old for, and I'm talking to you. Okay. I don't care. I'm going to get hate. All right. You're too old for those darn hats that are flat. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-mm. They are hats with a flat bill.
Oh,
I
don't know what they're called, but I know what you're talking about.
Tired of those. Okay, if you are under 25, okay, who cares what the kids' fashion trends? But come on, you get to be our age, man. Curve that thing, just curve that sucker. Because I remember I used to play Little League baseball. Right, mm-hmm. The first thing they teach you with your hat is to bend it. Mm-hmm. So it actually does its job and protects you from the sun. That's why it's there. I don't know if you guys know this. This might be new to some of you guys. That bill part protects you from the sun, right? The flat bills. Okay, I digress. I'm going to go off on a tangent talking about those things, man. I can talk to you about an hour of things that are just, you got to move on, man. Don't wear jorts. Again, I digress. We're done. Man. Moving on. Next question.
Wow. I'm pretty sure one of your students, you're like shaming one of them. They're like,
well, no, they're not my age. There's a dude out there on TikTok with a backwards hat that has a flat bill with a nose ring and jorts. And he is livid. He is livid. He turned it off. He unsubscribed to you.
Oh, man. All right. So next question. I really did like when I interviewed your dad, and I liked his response in there. Let's see if yours is as good. Let's see if you're going to shame him.
No pressure, right?
Are you going to raise Olivia the way your parents raised you? Like, do you think the way your parents raised you was like, no, the way they raised me was great. It was correct. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to pass down what I learned. Or was there things like, I I can do without that. Like, I see what you were trying to do, but I'm gonna do it better. I'm gonna take what you wanted to, and I'm gonna run with it.
I don't know how to answer that because I don't know. It's you know, they didn't write a manual on how they raised me, so I have no idea. Olivia's 10 months. I don't know what they did with me at 10 months old. All they tell me about is, oh, you were such a great baby. Okay, at 10 months. So I don't know. I have no clue if
But I
I'm
mean,
gonna
have you like? I know it's still, again, she's 10 months, but have you talked about it with Alyssa in a way where it's like, hey, when she gets of this, we're gonna try to do this. Like, not oh, hey, what are we gonna do when she's in high school? No, like, all right, when she starts to, when we're able to, walk with her, we're gonna try to aim for this. Do you have like a certain goal kind of thing?
Okay, so no, I mean we've not really. It's so
Just stay
before she
flow.
was born, I was talking about no smartphone until she's 17 years old that she can have smartphone. I was like all of these rules I was coming up with. I was being that typical
Yeah.
dad. But then as she's born, I'm just like, oh, what in the world? I don't want to think about
You're just going with
all
the
these
flow.
rules. I mean, she's a little baby. What do I care about? We'll just see how it is. She might be such a great kid that I don't have to worry. I don't have to impose so many rules, So we'll see. Though, so I will give you an example of one thing we're doing, I guess, to raise her that has just come up recently. So in the middle of the night, because she's teething
Mm-hmm.
and she's so active in a new place, a lot of things, a lot of variables here. She's woken up a few times, okay, and having a tough time going back to sleep. And so one thing Alyssa and I discussed is that we want to let her learn how to soothe herself and go back to sleep. If you or I wake up in the middle of the night, well, I don't know about you. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I don't go downstairs, make a cup of coffee, and start trying to get stuff done. I try to go back to sleep, okay? And so that's what we want Olivia to do. We want her to go back to sleep. And we don't want to soothe her back to sleep by going into the room, holding her, although Alyssa can't help herself sometimes because, I mean, come on,
Of course.
she's such a sweet baby. And Olivia's okay too. I try to say, listen, honey, let's wait. Let's try and get her to do it on her own so she can learn that lesson early, that when she cries, I don't want her to cry just so that we come into the room and hang out with her, right? Like, she needs to be able to do something like go back to sleep on her own.
Yeah.
So I guess that's one thing, but I never really talked to my parents about how they dealt with that. I think they did okay. I'm not a serial killer. So
Your dad made that joke. It was great.
Okay, well, I think I'm all right because so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'll ask them for some advice. I'm sure I already have. I just haven't thought too much about it, to be honest.
But like you said, it's you're still at the early stage. You're still 10 months. Like, I'm pretty sure you will, like, later down the road. But I did like your dad's response where he was like, no, it's pretty much go with the flow. And like, he wasn't saying that raising a child is easy or any means, but he was making it sound like, that you were an easy child to raise, just like Olivia, where, where he talked, I like the story that he shared about that you did T-ball first, and you didn't really like it.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't push martial arts on you. You were walking with your mom, and then you discovered it on your own, and you were like, I want to try that. So they just encouraged whatever was healthy for you and stuff, but that you found things on your own. I really do like that. And how he just talked about that he wanted to raise you the way he wanted to raise you. So I think that's pretty cool. And I think you and Alyssa obviously make a good team, to the point where you guys are talking about it. You're like, all right, listen, we're just going to go with the flow, whatever obstacle we'll tackle. But no, you like you said, Olivia's chill. You guys, again, hit the jackpot. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, I've been asking all the parents this. And I was telling Alyssa about this. How do you feel about parenting books? Like, did you read any of them?
I would have a better opinion of them if I read any of them. I don't know, man. I'm sure they're great books. Actually, I take that back. I don't know. Half of them probably written by frauds who don't know what they're talking about.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm just saying.
No,
What an easy money grab, you know? Like, oh man, I'm right about being a parent. I'm sure some of them have some great advice. Okay. I didn't read any of them. I'm lazy. Let me just put it that way. Okay. I don't want to, I'm just being honest.
Name of my show,
Okay.
honestly. Yeah.
I didn't read any books. I didn't have any interest in reading books. I did watch videos. Alyssa made me watch this one video.
Yeah, she told me about that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going into detail about that video, but she made me watch this one video, and no, I haven't. We've looked up stuff, okay, as they've come. You know, like she have a little fever or something. We'd look up, okay, well, what does this mean?
So you would tackle it as they.
Yeah. But no, I didn't read a book because one, lazy, and two, I mean, like I was saying at the beginning of this whole thing, this is my kid. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to write a book about how to raise, little Olivia unless she wins the Nobel Peace Prize. And then I'm going to bank. I'm going to get bank on that.
Here's what you do.
I'm going to say, here's what we did. All right. If you want your kid to win a Nobel Peace Prize.
Wear socks.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. That'd be chapter like 7 or something. Wear socks.
I think it should be chapter 1. It's like, hey, before you guys start, wear socks.
Yeah, there you go. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sure they're useful. It's just not my bag. Ain't my style. So there you go.
I feel you. Yeah, no, I wanted to get people's opinion on it just because for those who heard me talk to other parents, they already know, and those tuning in for the first time, I had a cousin. I mean, I do like his point. I don't have an opinion on it, but he had a strong opinion that he was like, there's no real book on parenting. Every child is different. Yes, there are certain things of like what to do when your child has a fever. Obviously, take it to the doctor. When it has a rash, buy this product. Things like that, where it's like very specific. But as far as like parenting, it's like, no, what are you talking about? Because with discipline, some people believe in, a little bit of physical discipline. Some people don't. It's who's to say what's right, what's wrong. So yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
I say look at serial killers and see what their parents did and do the opposite. So if you don't want your kid to be a serial killer, don't be like serial killer parents. I think that is a good rule. Yeah. I feel confident saying that. Okay. I'm no expert, but
the only reason why I don't feel confident saying that is because I know it's such a trend to like learn about these serial killers. There's so many shows about them. It pisses me off for like no apparent reason. I'm just like, why are we so fascinated about this? Mm-hmm. Anyways, but the only reason why I don't want to say that is because what if there's that one serial killer parents who were like honestly the best parents? It's just their kids.
They did something messed up, man. they did something messed up.
See, I'm just not gonna say it because I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just saying, there's got to be something. Maybe make them like Dexter. Yeah. Make them like Dexter, okay? If you know you got a bad apple, make them like Dexter. Dexter's a beloved character. Okay, this has gone off the rails. I'm not advocating murder. Can I just make that clear?
For one to kill other serial killers.
I don't condone murder, yes, unless it's murder of serial killers. All right? So
I can't even make a joke. Dang it. I'll say it after the show.
All right. Okay.
Dexter. Real quick, man. Did you ever watch that show?
I watched a little bit of Dexter. I tell you, that Dexter, it's a show, man. But I gotta say this, Dominic. I can't watch Dexter, okay? Because of how it ends. Too soon?
No, wait. That's what I was gonna say. Okay, so real quick, I remember walking in Target. Like, I kind of wanted to watch a new show. And I kept seeing Dexter. I had no idea what's it about. I just kept seeing, what is Dexter? All I know about Dexter is Dexter Laboratory. So I just kept seeing people talk about Dexter. And I'm just like, what is this? And at the time, they were already on season like 6 or something. Like before the last season, I think they made 7. I don't know. I wrote on Facebook one day and I said, hey, I'm thinking about watching the show Dexter. Does anybody have any opinions? Is that a good show? Whatever. I'll never forget this. One of my brothers in New York, Nicholas, shout out to you, Nick. I'll
Shout out to
never,
Nick.
I'll never forget what he wrote to me. He said, "Oh, it's a great show. Stop at season 4."
Okay, no. You can't pretend that doesn't exist. You can't say, okay, World War II ended like before Pearl Harbor. Okay, you can't just ignore the stuff that happens. I cannot watch Dexter because he becomes a lumberjack at the end, and they said the ending was so
spoilers.
bad. Okay, I cannot watch that show because I have to
So
watch it from start to finish. I mean, come on, I cannot just ignore it. So no, I can't do that. There's other shows that I cannot watch for that reason. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but Dexter is like number one. I heard great things, and people say stop. I cannot do that.
Yeah, no, he said, "Oh, it's a great show. Stop at season 4." And I was like, "Oh, I wonder why." And then I watched it. Where they get you is I was going to listen to him kinda. The last episode of season 4, somebody dies, and it's literally like the last minute of the show, of the season. And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I have to watch season 5." But he was right. The show goes downhill. It doesn't ever go back up. And now I realize why he said that. And I tell people the same thing. It's like, "Oh, Dexter, yeah, I've heard good things about it." I'm like, "Stop at season 4." So
No one's gonna stop at season 4, Dom.
no one will, because I had that. The last episode of season 4, it's going to make you go like, "Wait, what? No, I have to watch season 5."
I'm telling you, buddy, the person who stops at I'm not a political man, okay? The person who stops at season 4 should be president of the United States, because they have the discipline to be like, I stopped at season 4 of Dexter. I know there's more out there, but I stopped here, baby.
Okay,
because they told me not to, and I trust my advisors. I'm going to go with what they said, so I'm stopping at season 4. That person should run the country, the free world.
I'll put that right there. If you stop at season 4, let me know. Comment down below. You got my vote if you're voting for president.
If you stop at season 4, why am I in this chair? You should be in this
I need
chair.
to interview that person.
You need to interview that person. And when we're done, Chief, okay? I want my time.
All
right? But yeah, that person is an amazing person, okay? What discipline such a person has. I'm skeptical that they exist, but hey, I could be proven wrong, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, it was this one. I hear that they're making a last kind of like what they did with 24, where they fixed the ending, gave it a better ending. I hear that they're gonna try to do that with Dexter. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
I saw it in talks. I don't know if they're in production or anything. I remember seeing that being, I guess, a rumor. I would love them to fix it like 24. Like the first ending of 24 was trash. Then they fixed it. It was so much better. So I would love them to do that with Dexter, because I really did enjoy Dexter. It was a good show.
Just have them, like, don't retcon. I know we're going a little off top. We'll go back.
We'll go back.
Let me just say this, and then I'll digress. Let me just say this, all right? If you're gonna do that, this is for, I know for a fact that the producers of Dexter are watching this, because why not?
Why not?
Listen, producers of Dexter, okay?
Let me interview you, please.
I'm telling you, don't retcon the lumberjack thing. Lean into it, man. Dexter is a lumberjack now, okay? He's chilling. He's chopping trees, man. He's living out in the woods. He's catching fish with his bare hands. And that's your season. Just show what life is like for this man, and he like kill a rabbit, and you're like, oh, shoot, he still got it in him. But he's controlling himself, you know what I'm saying? Maybe make him a vampire. Give that
temptation that he might go back, because he started with killing the neighborhood pets.
But you end it. Maybe. I didn't mean the vampire thing. I'm into vampires.
Get out.
Get out. I think any story is made better with vampires. The fact that I didn't drop
an F-bomb is discipline. Okay. I should be president.
I'm just
Get
saying,
out.
Take Twilight. All right.
Get out. No. Dude, you already...
Take Twilight and remove vampires, and you have nothing. You have 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay. One more comment. I'm cutting it.
Listen. All right. Vampires make everything better.
I'm at a 9. You don't want to see me get
this. This is why, and for those of you that will watch this, okay, look out for my book. I'm going to write a book one day, guys. Vampire Detective. the name is pending. It's probably not going to be the name.
Not vampire.
It's going to be about a detective who is a vampire and he uses his abilities to
wait,
solve
why
crimes.
are you? Wait, I'm kind of mad, a little bit like half joking.
Why is that mad about that?
No. It's because what if somebody's listening to it and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna run with it," and what if they write the story before you? I don't want.
You know what? I don't want to do it for fame. I just want there to be a good. I feel like we got.
I don't
Sherlock
want you to
Holmes.
do it for fame either. I just don't want. I want you to be the first one to.
No, we
write
got
it.
Sherlock Holmes. We have Hercule Poirot. We need a vampire.
Okay, that's cool. I'm just saying I don't want somebody to hear
Okay,
you.
guys, cut this then and don't use my idea, okay?
All right.
Or if you do, give me royalty. Okay, continue.
There you go. Okay.
Isn't this not intellectual property? I don't think I own the rights to Vampire Detective. I'm pretty sure
I
there
just
are.
want you...
I Googled it once
No,
and there's like a Korean one. So
is there? Oh, okay.
There's like, they have like Vampire Detective and like Vampire Lawyer and like all these different
Vampire
things.
Lawyer.
I don't know how that one works, but
I was gonna say Vampire Doctor, but there's Scrubs. There's that inside joke where JD is trying to write a screenplay, Dr. Acula.
Already been a show about that too. Being Human had the nurse was a vampire, male nurse named Aiden or something, and that's where he got his blood because he was trying to be vegan.
Reason why I'm not going to watch that show. Anyways, all right, moving on. So we kind of touched a little bit about this.
What's the show about?
What, this show?
What are we talking about? Is there a day coming up or something?
Okay. So in your opinion, because you can only give your opinion, what's the role of the father? What do you think the role of the father is?
Oh boy, I don't know. A lot like the role of the mother, except my apparati, if that's the plural of apparatus, my apparati don't contain sustenance. Okay? In case you can't see, I'm pointing at my...
Okay, we get it.
My breastal region.
Man, you told me I gotta be PG.
No, I'm using anatomically correct terminology.
Okay.
My breastal
You can
region.
say breast.
Okay, are useless.
Doctors say breast.
Useless husks. Okay, and so therefore,
dang, I really want to make a joke.
I think, for that reason, the role is different. The baby depends more on the mother early on. I think the role of the father, the most important role of the father, is to be a positive role model. Okay, for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing as, anytime you're dealing with kids, you're teaching kids or whatever, is part of your responsibility is to try and be a positive role model. Pass on what you've learned. Okay. Let them know that try and exemplify, and it puts a lot of pressure on you, but it holds you to a higher standard, which is nice. Try and exemplify the things that you would want them to look up to. Or when they're I don't know, be a good positive male role model, I would say, is the role of the father. And other than that, I mean, just taking care of the kid, blah, 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 generic stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. Very simple.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah. Positive. That was a long way of saying positive male role model. There you go.
I mean, the fact that, you were teacher with martial arts, you teach high school, taught rock climbing. In a way, it was like a little bit teaser training to being a dad, because I've always heard it. I don't know if you heard, I mean, it's common sense how a mom and a dad is the ultimate teacher. You're a teacher 24/7 for the rest of your life. There's no weekends, no days off, kind of thing. So
I mean, the role of the father has changed a lot. It used to be the father was the provider, but now, I mean, my wife and I both work, so we both provide. And I really, that's all I think it really is now, is just being positive male role model, and doing things that, you would want, I would want, just to show, just to have, I don't know, good trait like integrity and things like that, yeah, whatever. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Short, sweet, to the point. What is something that surprised you about being a dad? Is there anything, something you no one told you? Oh, watch out for this, or anything like, oh man, no one prepared me for
I will
this.
say there are three things that come to mind right away. Okay.
Hmm.
Number one was, and I already touched on this earlier, but how I was surprised by how much I would be happy with having a little girl. Okay. Because like I said, I wanted a boy, and then we had a little girl, and I'm very happy, over the moon. I could not imagine any other way. I love this little baby. So there's that. Okay. The other thing is how quickly I bonded with the child. So I was totally prepared to have it take time, to be like, okay, before I felt like this is my baby. Because when the baby's out of the womb, there's not much you could do for the baby as a man, right?
Hmm.
The baby depends really on the mom. And I'm just there for support. So I expected there to be some time before I felt truly bonded and connected with the baby. However, because of what my wife was going through, she had that hemorrhage in the room. All the doctor's attention were rightfully on her, and so I was left alone, sitting on the bench off to the side with this newborn baby right in front of me, and it was just us. And we're watching, my wife, the love of my life, going through the most traumatic experience ever, and terrified. And I know the baby didn't know what was going on, but at that moment I was like, I had confidence in the doctors, but there was fleeting thought of, boy, it could just be me and this kid. And from that moment, instant bond, connection. Like, that was my kid. It also helped that she was born with 6 fingers, okay? Which I knew she was mine, because I gotta say, that's a pretty rare trait at the point, because, I was born, my dad, he had, an extra little finger thing on both hands. And I have it on this one. You can see like a little scar there.
Hmm.
And she was born with one on her left and a little nub.
Oh right, it's my kid. All right, that's it.
Like a little nub on her right.
We don't need Maury here.
The one on her left actually was crazy, because it was like a thin piece of skin, and then attached to it was like a knuckle with a fingernail.
Oh wow.
And I thought that they were going to take it off right there, but they ended up tying around, and then it kind of like just dies and it falls off.
Oh wow.
That's what happens. Yeah. The other one, she has to have surgery when she's a little older. No rush. And then she was born with, it's so cute. It's so cute. She was born with like a bifin. Okay.
What is that?
So a bifin is her little toe on her left foot. All right. Her tiny baby toe splits into 2 little toes. Like, sorry. Oops.
You're good.
Like this. Okay. Splits like this. So this is a little baby toe, and this is a baby toe. So they could do surgery later down the road, because I'm sure Olivia would appreciate that, when she could wear flip-flops or something. She'd have the bifin out. So she had these things, and it just was, it was, wow, this is my kid. This is amazing.
Yeah, I'm a genetic freak. All right, cool.
Genetic freak. Genetic freak. Imagine the things she could do with that extra little toe, the latch.
She'd probably be a faster runner because of that.
She'd be a great rock climber. She could have a rock climbing shoe on one foot, and then on her left foot, she could like grapple onto things. I'm sorry, little one. Yeah, I know you're gonna see this.
She's gonna see this when she gets older.
You're gonna see this like, I wonder what my dad was like at in his his mid 20s.
Late 20s.
His late 20s. I wonder what my dad was like in his late 20s. And she can see this. I'm sorry, darling. Okay. My apologies. And if you are upset that your toe is gone, then I'm sorry about that too. Maybe she's like, man, boy, that would have been cool. I'd have loved to be able to latch on.
She falls in love with rock climbing. It's like, oh, how are you liking it? If I just had an extra toe, I could have grabbed
She's in a tournament. She's in a tournament. It's like neck and neck. And then she's like trying to, her foot slips at the last second. It costs her the prize. And
she's like, man, if I just had an extra toe. Yeah. And then it's like, man, do I have some news for you?
A little scar right there. Yeah.
You see that scar? Yeah, we made a decision.
Oh my goodness, that'd be great.
I remember Zach was the one that told me about it. He was like, "Oh, do you know when they're gonna, remove her extra finger?" And I just laughed like, "Oh, ha ha ha." And then he was like, "No, she really does have an extra finger." And I was like, "Wait, what? No." And I don't know why he made it sound like, well, it's my fault. I literally thought like a
Oh,
legit long
yeah.
finger, but it was just like a
Well, I mean,
little.
when somebody says they have an extra finger, that's what you think.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
just like, "No way." And he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah." And it was just, a
No,
little
it looked
no.
like Piccolo's antenna. Like it's, that's what her finger looked like. It wasn't, it wasn't
And
like an actual finger.
yeah, he didn't mention about the toe, so this is the first time I'm hearing about that. But so when I babysat Olivia and I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's not a big deal, whatever." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, just her extra finger, and I'm like,
It
"Wait,
doesn't
what?"
affect her standing either, which is very good.
Mhm.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Oh,
All right.
I rarely get questions.
All
What's up?
right, here's a question. All right. Okay. So this is kind of out of nowhere, but trust me, it's not for me. It's not out of nowhere. It's
Okay.
very pressing matter.
I love this.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever heard somebody say, it's so weird to me. You ever heard somebody say, oh, I got to go to the little boy's room? You ever hear like a grown person say that? "Oh, I gotta go to the
No.
little boy's
Okay,
room."
because I was about to say like, "Oh, little boy's room." Yeah, I've heard that, but not a grown person.
Like, when did you hear that? Last time you heard that? Because that's like an expression for I have to go to the bathroom. It's like, "Oh, I gotta go to the little boy's room,"
Yeah.
right? What a weird saying.
I
When was
would
the last
hear-
time you heard that?
Probably TV, to be honest.
Okay, so you hear it like on TV, like, "Oh, I gotta go to the little boy." First off, what a weird saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Secondly, right here,
As to
right
think
now,
only little boys have to go to
yeah,
the bathroom.
with your following, okay, we're gonna start a movement. All right, we're gonna retire
All
little
right,
boys'
so
room.
me and my 5 followers. All right,
Yes.
cool.
Yes, it only takes so many in social media age. We're gonna start a movement. All right. Well, you've had 12 guests. They're in on this too. All right. So no more little boys' room. That is done. Okay. Is now, if you are grown individual, big man's room. Okay. I got to go to the big man's room.
I gotta go to the big man's room.
I got to go to the big man's room. Okay. Which leads me to my next point. I have to go to the big man's room. So I'll be back. What do I do? I just leave?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just take off your headphones. This is good. All right, guys, you heard it here. We're gonna start a movement. Little big man's, or I said little big man's room. Big man's room.
All right.
Yeah. See, nice and chill.
I just want to say this. You have a very clean big man's room.
Thank you.
Very clean, unusually clean.
I do clean.
You know who has clean big man's room? Serial killers.
No, okay. I can't wait. I'm actually going to invite my old psychology teacher from last semester. So we were talking about psychopaths. Like, this might scare some of my fans.
Uh-oh.
My 5 fans. But okay, so this was hilarious. And I can't wait to have her on the show. Like, I hope she comes and talks a little bit about this. So we were talking about emotions and stuff, and we were talking about how every emotion is a fleeting emotion. Like, you're not angry. Honestly, you're not angry for too long. You're angry for like really a minute, and you're only happy for like a minute and stuff. It's like fleeting emotions and stuff. And then we were talking about other stuff about emotions. Then I said, she was like, does anybody have any questions? And I raised my hand. I was just like, kind of curious. Is it possible to be in neutral, so to speak? For me, for example, I'm really chill. Like, I can sit in my room, not be happy, not be sad, just honestly be like in the middle.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, is that possible or is it not? And she was like, yeah, no, that's totally possible. You tend to see that more with psychopaths. But yeah, that's a thing. And then I thought she was going to make a joke and laugh, and I was ready to laugh. And then she goes like, anybody else that have any questions? And I'm like,
what, just to be chill?
What?
wait, I'm sorry. I have to say, I feel like I'm no psychologist. Okay. That doesn't sound right to me. Just hey, I'm chill. I'm a pretty chill guy. You know, I'm just like, I'm not very happy right now. I'm also not very sad. I'm just kind of chill. Yeah, psychopath behavior. What?
Psychopath. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, and I would literally, and I was wearing my neck gaiter too. Like, this was in person, and I'm sitting there like kind of, my eyes are like wide open. I'm freaking out. And everybody's just like normal and just go, and I'm like, are we just gonna pass by that? Like that was nothing. Like I told my coworkers
That's why
about
you didn't
that.
have any friends. That's why you didn't have any friends. You never told me that story. I gotta go.
Oh man, yeah, no, and it's
Oh boy,
now
he's too chill.
you're gonna be my
Psychopath.
last guest because no one else is gonna want to be interviewed by a psychopath.
I
Apparently,
wasn't want to be a relaxed guy. You know,
it was so weird. I was just like, okay, so
my
I can't wait
baby's
to,
a psychopath because she's pretty chill. She's a
right.
psychopath.
And then there was a one of my friends, Camden. She it's not a riddle, but it's like I don't know how to phrase it. One day I'll have her on the show and she'll talk about it. There's like this like scenario and that she paints and not she didn't create this, but it's like known. If you answer correctly, it's like because you can think like a psychopath, like whatever. And I answered it correctly within my first shot, and she was like, "You're a psychopath." And I was like,
let me ask you this, buddy.
I feel like that's too vague.
You know what I've noticed is that people are like, I don't know, thinking that it's cool to be like that because it's a way of setting them apart from other people. It's like, oh, well, I took this test and I might be a sociopath or a psychopath. And it's like, oh, boy. I think it all started with the Joker, honestly. Like, you know, the Dark Knight. Everybody thought that was cool. I don't know, man.
you could be onto
Not
something.
everybody can be a psychopath, folks. I'm just saying. It's like, what, 5% of the
Why would you
population
want
or
to be?
something? I don't know.
It's like one of the great evils. It's like, no. I can understand wanting to, portray it in a play or a movie. Everybody wants to play like the bad guy, the crazy guy, and all that stuff. Everybody wants to be the next Heath Ledger. No, Jared Leto. Shots fired. All right. Anyways,
come on. He was working with what he was given, pal.
Okay, that's what I said. Like I never, in a way, blame actors. Like going on a little tangent, I never blame too much on the actors. Kind of my perfect example is Ben Affleck and Daredevil. Ben Affleck, great actor. I think a lot of people do genuinely like Ben Affleck, but
yes, he's all right.
Same with Ryan Reynolds with Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds, great actor, but he was given a crappy project. Same with Daredevil. He was given a crappy project, and they make the best of what they got. They do their best. Same with writers and all that, and directors and all that stuff. Jared Leto, still within that realm. I don't blame him. It's just me personally. I think it's still too soon to do a Joker, and like even though it's like, oh, but it's been years since The Dark Knight. I get it, but I don't know. I still think it's a little bit too soon, and also because Heath Ledger he set the bar really high, and I'm sorry, like.
Yeah, but I mean, well, okay.
I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm just saying, okay, Jared Leto, I'm sorry. You were given not too great of a Joker portrayal, but you also didn't do it.
Yeah, Heath Ledger set the bar so high it'll never be met. Oh wait, wasn't there a blockbuster smash hit movie called Joker that came out? I think he did pretty good. Joaquin Phoenix was all right, so
I don't get it. Like the movie wasn't bad. And Joaquin Phoenix, definitely one of the top best actors out there. It's I don't want to get into it.
Get into it. What are you talking about? It's your show.
I know, but
what's your problem?
Okay.
Oh, come on. Is this the same problem? This guy's got a problem with everything, man. I'll tell you, the first Wonder Woman.
Okay, fine. I'll get into it with Joker. I'm not going to get into it with Wonder Woman.
We're not getting into Wonder Woman.
I'm not going to get into it with Wonder Woman.
I'm just going to explain.
One day I will,
Woman
not today. Okay, Joker.
Woman, the greatest movie, Wonder Woman. What a movie. Wonder Woman's great. This
gonna
man
edit
has
that
some
out.
issue with Wonder Woman because I don't know.
Trash.
He calls it trash. How can you
Trash.
call it? It's serviceable at best. Okay, go on. What's your
Trash.
quarrel with Joker? I'm not one of those fans that's like, oh, I got the shirts and I painted my face on Halloween. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was good, almost great.
I wanted to like it.
It had great parts, but
it
what's
had
your
great
quarrel?
scenes.
What's your quarrel?
Well, no, the Joker was good. It's just I can summarize it with this. Joaquin Phoenix Joker, he didn't do anything. Like, he honestly, like, okay, the Joker is a genius. He's a mastermind. Like, I was explaining this where I was thinking that sooner or later in the movie The Joker, when Joaquin Phoenix stops taking like the pill, stops taking his meds, I really thought there was going to have a moment where he basically sees the string that controls the system and starts to, pick apart the system and starts messing with people just a little bit, just to show that he's actually smarter than he realized, and to realize that he's a great leader, that he can actually get people behind him and for his cause. He didn't do anything. The scene, which I thought would have been great, was when he was in the back of the police car and there's all that riot, and the police officer looks back and is like, "See what you've done?" And he looks out and he's like, "I know. Isn't it wonderful?" I love that line. But in a moment, I was in the theater and I'm like, yeah, but you didn't really plan that. You didn't do that. It would have been awesome if they showed him he did that on purpose. And he's like, "I know. Isn't it wonderful?" And only for him to get rescued and all that stuff and him dancing. I thought all that would have been great. It's just, that's it.
Origin. It's called
yes,
origin.
Absolutely.
Story.
But
that's
in
like
that origin,
in Batman Begins, you expect Batman to come up with the method to kill all the Justice League members.
No,
in his origin story.
But okay. Batman Begins with Christian Bale, and then the animated movie that's right behind me, Batman Year One. They're very similar, as you can see, where he's not skilled. He's skilled, but he's not veteran. I thought the same thing with the Joker. It's just like, listen, I'm not saying that you need the Joker needed to have a scene where he does like a big bank heist with the Heath Ledger with a pile of money. No, but I wanted him to at least do like a small organization, a small riot that he legit planned, to show his genius, that he's on top of it. Like, hey, without my meds, and I'm crazy, but I'm actually smarter than... Because that's the thing people don't realize. The Joker is really, really smart, but he acts like... But no one takes him seriously, but people at the same time take him seriously. That's what was lacking in the movie.
After enough murderers, they would take him seriously. Okay,
exactly.
Anyway, I digress.
But I digress. It was... Joker's still a great movie. I'd watch it again. It's still a good movie. They did a good job of making me feel uncomfortable and kind of making me feel bad for him, even though I'm like, I shouldn't. But Joaquin Phoenix, I would cast him as that. I just would have done it a little bit better.
Shots fired. Would have done it
better.
better. He would have done it better.
And that's why I'm never gonna work in Hollywood. That's it. I got blacklisted already. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think I'm good. I got all the time in the world to spend talking about movies.
All right. Well, okay. So, last question for the dad stuff, unless you want to add anything more. I think this was like my theme where I ask people for advice. What advice would you give to any young man and woman that's looking right before they become parents? Anything like, oh, hey, I didn't know this. This is kind of overlooked. Here's something maybe people should know that you don't often hear, or anything you want to say, whatever.
Boy, I wish I would have thought about this one a little more when you sent me the list of questions.
I sent you the text. You were like, did. Send me the what are you going to ask me?
I saw this one. I was like, oh, I'll come up with an answer as
I'm going to be profound.
What advice would I give a young man or young woman that wants to have a baby? So they want to have a baby. Okay. Well, I don't know. Just shoot. make sure you want to do it for the right reason. You know, like don't be like those. Oh my God, don't be like those. What do you call them? What's that show? Toddlers and Tiaras. Don't be like those moms, man.
I've never watched it, but I know exactly.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These ladies that have these kids because they want them to put them in pageants. They want to turn them into like little. Okay, that's number one. If you want to do that, you need to grow up or just don't have kids. All right, that's horrible. Jeez, that's terrible. All right, so don't be that kind of parent. Also, I will say this. Okay, here's the thing. Oh my goodness, you gotta find the right person. Okay, because boy, oh boy, nothing brings out your like inner thoughts and inner frustrations more than when you're in times of great stress. Okay, and you will be in many times of great stress with your child. It's very joyous. They're not like depressing moments, but it's just like, boy, you know, what's going on? You know, you're scared or whatever. And that can bring out deep things you've been holding back. Okay, so if you have like some resentment towards your partner or whatever, boy, it's just going to make things worse.
Dang.
Okay, so I feel like a lot of people probably would, you know, butt heads a lot if they weren't very compatible to begin with. So you got to be very compatible with your partner. Okay, so find somebody that, you know, I guess if you're a young man, find somebody that you would be proud if your daughter grew up to be like them. You know, so if you had a kid and your daughter grew up, you know, if Olivia grew up to be like Alyssa, oh my God, I'd be so proud. I'd be so proud of her because I think Alyssa, obviously I met her. I think Alyssa's the most amazing person I ever met. So that's what you got to look for in partner. Okay.
That's a good answer.
And so keep that in mind. That's number one piece of advice because it's not going to work out. You're going to be miserable if you don't find the right person to have the baby with. So, yeah.
Kind of touching on that. All right. So when Alyssa was pregnant, she was saying how when she was super hormonal and all that, like she would dish out insults to you and stuff.
Oh my gosh, her insults.
What are some stuff?
What are some stuff that she insulted me with?
She was like, I feel so bad. Like he didn't deserve. He was a great person, but like, you know, my hormones were haywired.
Dude, I don't even remember.
Her you didn't take it personally.
Like, no, it's not like, you know, jeez. Her insults are like, what, you know, your shirt doesn't match your pants or something like that. Like, or honey, why in the world are your socks different? Like, that's her insults. I mean, come on. It wasn't like she was burning me. She wasn't like roasting me. You know, like, geez Louise.
She's going to watch it and be like, all right, up my game. You got it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, she was telling me like, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what are you talking about? I think mainly it wasn't, you know, it was mainly just being in an agitated mood. Okay. Which I think is what she would be apologizing for, but it's like, whatever, man, I understand, you know, you got a fetus inside of you. If I had a fetus inside of me, I'd be pretty agitated too. Okay. So I get it. You don't have to explain. All right. It's okay to be uncomfortable. You're a growing human being. Geez, I was uncomfortable. You know those, what I think of when I think of growing a human being?
What?
I think of those little, I wonder if you had these as a kid. They were like.
The Shrinkadinks?
What, a Shrinkadink? I don't know what they're called.
I don't know.
A Shrinkadink? Maybe it is a Shrinkadink. But they had like the little Godzilla ones where they were like little tiny creatures, but if you put them in water, they would grow.
Yeah.
If you like added this
so it's the opposite of a Shrinkadink or Shrinky Dinks.
A Grow-a-Dink. Right? Do you think that would be it? Let's go.
I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
But so it would.
Can you imagine if a woman got pregnant and it grew that fast?
Oh my God!
She conceives a baby, and all of a sudden you're at dinner. She's like,
in vampires, it does. Anyway, I digress.
God, sometimes it's so hard to be your friend sometimes.
So another fascinating vampire fact. Anyway,
is that really a fact?
Well, I mean,
they're mythical, so is that a fact?
Well, I guess everything you say about them could be a fact. But anyway, I digress. Listen, we're not talking about vampires, all right? Quit bringing it up. So these grow-a-dinks, okay, that's what I think of when I'm thinking of like a fetus, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, man, if I had one of them grow-a-dinks inside of me, that'd be very uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, boy, I never took offense. And she was so sweet, you know, even when she's being mean, which she was hardly ever mean. Even when she's being mean, she's being sweet, you know? Like,
I could see that, knowing her. Yeah.
Honey, I love you, but gosh darn it, you need to take out the kitty litter. Like, all right. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean to burst out. Okay, that's cool. You know?
And I mean, knowing you too, like, I mean, you guys are a great team. I'm not just saying that because you're not an emotional dude, and you don't take things personally. Like, you really do. It's hard to get under your skin.
It is.
That's why it's a trophy whenever I do. I'm just like, I gotta exploit it. Because I gotta exploit it. Why? Because after today, you're gonna be resistant to it. So it's like, all right, I can't mess with him about that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a pretty relaxed guy, and she's relaxed. That's
You're a
what I'm
psychopath.
saying.
You're chill, you know.
Oh yeah, apparently
we gotta stick
so.
together.
Yeah, apparently so. So we that's what I'm talking about. Find compatible partner, man. Because if that passive aggressive like behavior is really gonna aggravate you, and if that's the first time you're finding out that your wife or your significant other can be passive aggressive, boy, you should not be having a kid. You should have learned that way earlier.
But I like what you said, that I can see that for both men and women, that for women to, you know, pick a guy, you know, to try to have a child with, it's like, oh, if we were to have a son and he grew up to be this guy, would I be happy? And same with a daughter, if she grew up to be her mother, would I be happy? That's, I think, I haven't heard people put it in that way. And I think that's some powerful stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, keep that in mind. You don't want to. Well, you know, you do what you guys want to do. You know, live your life.
Live your life.
Just think of it that way, okay? So that's all I gotta say. You know, if your spouse is like a crack dealer, you know, I don't think you'd be proud of your kid, you know, growing up to be a crack dealer.
That's what you've always wanted. I sold the most crack. All right, all right.
Yeah, let's go. You got them on Pop Rocks early, you know. Get them on Pop Rocks in kindergarten. Pre-K, I'd be selling crack by the 3rd grade. All right, let's go.
Oh my god, I remember smoking Smarties. I probably shouldn't say this. What if the kids don't do
I never did that. Are you kidding
never
me?
Did that?
Even as a dumb middle school kid, I never smoked. I had
Well,
probably
I was
acne
dumber
anyway.
than you.
I didn't want any of that stuff close to me.
You were dumb. I was this dumb.
You did it, huh?
Oh, not only did I did it.
Everything.
Wait, I got to share this story. So it was in the 6th grade. I remember this. I shouldn't say the middle school. It doesn't matter. But anyway, you know what middle school we went to. Anyways, it was in the 6th grade. And everybody's smoking Smarties. It's so
guys,
sensitive.
I don't know. For those folks that don't know what a Smartie is, I don't know. It's like they're little candies.
Okay, you didn't actually smoke it like bad. I mean, this wasn't smart, but you would take a Smartie.
The name.
You would take a Smartie, you would rub it to, you know, just get it into powder, and then you would just suck it and then blow, and then smoke would come out, and look at me, I'm a 6th grader
if you were
smoking.
Really rebellious, you snorted the
right? It was stupid. All right, don't do it. It's stupid. Anyways, I remember one day I was with my mom, and
now listen, wait. Before you continue the story, I just have to interject. Okay, if that sounds bad, then I don't want to hear it. Okay, that was like the precursor to like Tide Pod. All right. All right. So that was innocent.
No, screw Tide Pod. Like, at least with Smarties, nothing bad happened.
It was stupid, like, to do that. That's why I never did. Okay, it was very stupid to do the Smartie thing. But my God, it pales in comparison to the idiocracy of, you know, doing the Tide Pod thing.
I just imagine this, like, air quote, hardcore 7th grader. It's like, oh, you're smoking Smarties. You need to get in this Tide Pod game. It's like, at least I don't have to burden my parents and calling 911 this huge hospital bill.
How about just don't smoke anything? A piece of advice for young men and women out there: Don't smoke anything.
Wow, you're no fun.
Hey, no, don't smoke. How about don't smoke anything? That's a good rule of thumb, I think. The only thing you should smoke is meats.
There you go.
Like, if you got a grill out there, man, plop some ribs on it. Some cheese.
Some good steaks.
You could smoke meat. You could smoke cheese. Don't smoke anything else, all right? Just keep that a good rule. I feel confident. I'm no health expert, but I feel confident saying don't smoke things.
I gotta have a doctor be like, don't ever do that. It's
like,
doctor,
have you had on
a smoked brisket?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have it.
He gave some poor health advice. There are some things you should smoke. Okay? I was like, no, I feel confident saying don't smoke anything, all right?
So anyway, like going back to it, I remember I was at Walmart with my mom. Again, a little 6th grade me, dumb, and I lied and said, "Oh, hey, we're doing this math. We're doing this a math project in class, like with candy. Can I buy this bag of Smarties for my class and stuff?" And the bag, I don't know what it is, but the bag was like $4 or $5, whatever, right? And it came with like 50 Smarties, like a lot. I was a Smarties drug dealer in the 6th grade. I kept it. Do you remember that?
I remember,
I kept it in the bottom locker, and I sold them for like $0.25. Dude, I made a huge profit. And then you could buy the basket of fries, and they were like the premium lunch meal, and they were only $1. Dude, I ate basket of fries.
You
for
ate like a king.
Dude, I did.
Yeah.
People came up to me and was like, "Hey, you got any Smarties? You got $0.25?"
Dude, yeah.
Dude, I was a
like how Pablo Escobar had these huge estates. Like, they have like these ridiculous mansions and cars. You had your a la carte. Every day you had the Olive Cart. And I'm like, once a week is a treat for me,
Damn, I should have been paying like the administrators and janitors.
I felt uncomfortable to be around you. That's how
No, I remember
you
one
were
time
selling candy to people, and I was just like, this is dirty. This is dirty money. Like, Mike, you want a fry? That's blood money.
Dude, it was, oh my God. I remember I was like popular in the 6th grade because of that, and I felt like I really did feel cool. I was like, yeah, that's right. When people who I knew in the 6th grade world, I knew I made it when a kid who I didn't know came up to me and was like, "You got any Smarties?" And I'm like, "You got $0.25?" Like, I knew I made it when the word got out that I was the guy.
Yeah.
And then I got mad when there was competition.
Oh, another piece of advice. All right.
Okay, go.
Sorry, it's just coming up as we're talking.
No, good. I
this
kind
is
of want to
something I
stop
really
talking about
want
my
to
dark
say.
past.
No, your dark past. It's pretty. All right. So when you talk about the play, so hold on, we'll go back to that. All right. For the mental note. So another piece of advice for young men and women about parenting, right? Okay. Don't become a parent if you feel like it will be the end of your prime years. Let me put it that way, all right? You know what I was thinking about this as I was driving over here. You know what the saddest thing I hear is? When somebody says, high school was the best time of my life.
Dude, I'm not a parent, and I hate when people say that. I'm like, really?
Or college was the best years of my life. You spend 4 years in high school. You spend 4 to 6 or whatever in college. You're going to live most of your life over 40 years old. Okay? So that's pretty sad that your best, I'm just saying, if you feel that way, I never want to feel that way because that is just why, I'm happier now than I've ever been in my life. And I hope to continue that until I'm maybe when I get to 80, I can say, oh, my 70s were the best years of my life, but I never want to feel that way because, and if you are going to feel like you're giving up your life, because you do have to make sacrifices, but if you feel like you're going to, your prime years are behind you, then boom, you don't have a kid, man, because then you're going to look at the kid differently. You're not going to look at the kid as your future. You're going to look at them as like an anchor. They're holding you back from what you used to be or something like that. And so that's I would say great, if I would be so bold, that's a great piece of advice.
That is good advice. I would kind of add on to that. I wonder let me get your opinion on it. Kind of the same thing with the Tiara Moms, whatever the show's called. Who cares? Uh, shots fired. Oh man, we've been firing
We're making
everybody.
enemies.
We're making enemies
TLC.
today. This is a controversial
The
episode.
Learning Channel of all channels has toddlers and tiaras. Yeah.
Toddlers and tiaras. That's what it was. I was like, it's something with a T. Whatever. Anyways, let me get your opinion on it. Kind of with both moms and dads, the ones where trying to pass on their legacy to their child. So say like, oh, you were a great athlete or whatever, business, whatever the case may be. And I know it's healthy to, try to, especially getting your kid into things like sports and stuff like that. Like, but the moment you see signs where your kid's just not that into it, like you were, where you're just like, no, this has to be you. You have to continue on my legacy, like my name and stuff like that. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think it's just, I think it's not good. That's so eloquent, right? I think it's not good. I mean, if your kid wants to follow in your legacy, then you would support them. But I would never push Olivia to want to do something in math or even STEM. If she wants to be an artist, whatever, that's great. Even, and you might think it'd be different if I had a son, but it'd be the same. I don't want them to be a copy of me. I mean, I teach math. It's not like I'm, a Pulitzer Prize winning author yet. Vampire Detective coming soon. Look out. But I think it's not appropriate to force that kind of stuff on your kid.
I think it's okay to get them started in it, like because you're passionate, and if they gravitate towards that, and they're like, oh, bonding.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm just talking like, putting the pressure for them to become great at it. Like either you were great at it. Think of Michael Jordan, right? Like the greatest of all time. Okay, think about him and his kid. Doesn't play in the NBA, but he tried to play basketball. All right. And I don't know if he tried to force him or to, but just imagine, just hypothetically speaking, let's say he did, like he tried to push him to become great. Well, that's a tall bar to handle. That's a lot of pressure on a kid. Okay. So that could lead to some unhealthy relationship, right? But if the kid genuinely wants to follow in your footsteps, you're there to support them. As long as they're happy, as long as they're doing something they feel fulfilled in doing, right? But it has to be their choice.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when they're very young, they don't have much choice. You kind of say, here's your options. I want you to do something, okay? Some type of sport, swim or whatever, to learn some important lessons. The most important lesson I learned, and this is why it kind of going off on this, one of the most important lessons I learned and why I want to get Olivia involved in some sports, preferably martial arts, but she doesn't want to do that, is when I was 8, okay, I had been doing martial arts for like a month. I was a white belt. I didn't know very much, but my parents took me to a local tournament, all right? So I go in the tournament, and I don't know. I thought I did okay. And so I got a trophy that looked different from all the other kids. It was a low guy kicking, and the kids got bigger trophies, but mine, the guy was bigger. So I thought I got a really great trophy. I was like, oh man, I was so proud. I was like showing my parents, I was like, look at this. I think I won. And my dad tells me in a nice way, you got last place. That's why you got that trophy. You were the worst. Like in the group, you finished last. Okay, you did the worst. Something like that, right? I don't know exactly what he said, but I remember that. Boy, do I remember that.
Did it hurt?
Oh yeah, it did. And that was the greatest thing that he could have said to me. Instead of saying, oh yeah, you did great, and just kind of carrying along. Me having that feeling of finishing last is what motivated me to try from that point on to never have to go through that again. And so every other tournament, I just got better with time, and I actually trained, practiced, and I did many more tournaments to never have to feel that. I lost tournaments, okay? I didn't win them all, but I won a lot more than I lost.
But you
from
never
that
got
point
last
forward.
place, and that was probably a better feeling.
Yes. Yeah. And so it was a good lesson to learn. And that just because, because everybody, the whole participation trophy thing is like a meme at this point, but it is that way for a reason. I think in the society that we live in, okay, there is a benefit to being competitive, okay, and having competitive spirit, and those type of people will excel. So it's something that is important to learn early on, that being competitive is a good thing. Really, it'll drive you to be better. And so that was a good lesson I learned. So yeah,
nice. I don't know. Like when I think about, I know whatever my kid does in the future, I want me and the mother to be that kid's, number one fan, to support them as long as they're doing something good. I same with, with martial arts. I prefer that, but whatever the kid chooses, I'm gonna be happy no matter what. Kind of going off with that though, do you, again, Olivia's still young, and obviously you'll probably, try to push Olivia when she gets to that age to try things like martial arts and stuff. Do you have uh like a thought where, oh, I kind of like whatever Olivia ends up being healthy, we're gonna be supportive, but I'm gonna try to steer her into this, like okay, let me be more specific. Sorry, I didn't read books as a kid. I know my parents did try. I do want my kid to be a better student than me. I wasn't a great student. I know I'm gonna try my best to work on them on what I believe my flaw was, and yeah. So I want them to try to get them to read, and what I see myself doing is I want to be excited with the books that they pick out. I want to get excited because I feel like if they see me get excited, they'll get excited.
Yes, very true. Yeah, it's infectious.
Yeah. So that's my flaw. I can admit that. So I want to push my kid to be a scholar. I want my kid to be an athlete. Sure. I think everybody, wants that, but I want my kid to be a scholar because I wasn't a good student.
Yeah, I would say the one thing I'm gonna make sure she's above average in math, and that's one of those things that you can definitely learn. Anybody can be above average in math. All right, not everybody, because then the average will shift. But that's math. I just taught you guys some math.
I knew you were gonna say that.
But anybody can be. It's something that can be learned and taught at an early age, and I teach math, so it's going to be very easy for me to follow her, along in the school and help her out. Because honestly, this is just my experience, right? As a teacher, I taught hundreds of students. I'm trying to think if it's 1,000 yet, but I don't know. Hundreds of students.
I don't think so. Not yet.
Maybe not. Yeah, but I've taught hundreds of students, and one thing I've noticed is 99% of the time, if the student is good at math, they do all right. As long as they're trying, they do all right in the other subjects. Like they do well in them. But you hear all the time how students are good at other things like history and English or art, but math is their worst subject. Okay, you hear this all the time. There's a reason for that. All right. And that's why I think math, every teacher is going to say their subject is the most important. I'm going to say, of course, that I think math is the most important foundation just because of how it trains your brain, right? Like if we're talking about exercises, there's specific exercises you could do, but I always say mathematics is like push-ups for your brain. It's just, even though everyone, and don't feel bad if you learn something and then you forget it. That's normal. I mean, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it, right? But it's just the process of answering questions and going through the logical steps. As long as you're doing it and it's being taught the right way. If it's being taught, hey, memorize this and look for a problem that looks like this and just copy how it's done. That's not the way you teach math. That's not the way you do math. Okay, that's not how you learn it, right?
There's gonna be a math teacher watch it and be like, I disagree.
well, you suck. Okay. I'm just saying, like, that's not how you do it. That's what you do in med school. You say, memorize this, the symptoms of this illness or whatever, right? But in math, it's everything has a beginning, and you could start from there and logic. If you lock somebody in a room and give them shapes, a ruler, a protractor, they could conceivably come up with like a good chunk of geometry. And if, hypothetically speaking, in like 10 years or 20 years, right? If that's all they were doing, if you slide them pizzas under the thing, right? And give them coffee, it's all logical. And so the process of learning math, doing math, practicing math teaches your brain to be logical, to think critically, to problem solve, which can be applied to literally every other subject, where the other subjects cannot necessarily be applied to everything else. So math is a universal skill set that is also nice because not a lot of people have it. Not a lot of people can speak the language. And so you're setting yourself apart if you can. So it is highly important to me that she is good at mathematics. So that is the one thing. I don't care if it's her least favorite subject. I'm not trying to turn her into
the
me.
best mathematician.
Okay, yeah. Right? I want her to, achieve greater. If she wants to be a mathematician, great. Wonderful. I would be so happy. But if not, I'd still be just as happy. Okay? But she's going to be good at math. Yeah, she's not. That's going to be one of her better subjects.
I want to get somebody onto the show who loves history and literature. Those are my two worst subjects. Math and science has been some of my favorite subjects because I always felt like with math and science, if I'm wrong, you can and you've done this, you tutored me in math, you can show me, okay, here's where you went wrong, here's why you did it wrong, we need to get your brain start thinking problem solving this way. Like it's like it almost feels like engineering, and it honestly feels good when you're right in math and science. You get that boost of instant success. Like, all right, good. Literature and history, sometimes it just feels a little bit subjective, and I'm scared for next semester because I'm taking literally those two classes next semester, and I'm a little worried. But like I'll give an example with history. History is by far my worst. Literature, I can take it or leave it. But history, I hate reading a passage. This is gonna be really vague, but it'd be like, all right, read this passage. Now in your own words, describe what just happened. I'm like, why? Like I cannot. I sound like a 5-year-old when I write. Like, war is bad because people die. This, that. Like I can remember dates. I can remember important events. But the moment you tell me like, oh, I have to talk about it like I was there.
Right. That's not a history thing. That doesn't mean you're bad at history. That means you're bad at conveying what somebody else said in your own words. That's just something you practice. Like that's just something you have to, just do like the problems. So I don't really think, you can perform poorly in history. I don't think you could really anyone could be bad at it because, I don't know. I'm gonna sound very ignorant. I confess I would sound very ignorant. Okay, right now.
I'm ignorant.
My apologies. My apologies. Some people are saying you sound ignorant all the time. Okay, well, whatever. But I'm just saying. Wait. From what I remember, history is just that writing things in your own words, analyzing events that have taken place. These are things that have taken place. You can memorize dates. Know when things happen, interpret stuff from that. I guess people, like you said, the part where you could be bad at is just writing things in your own words, interpreting it.
Yeah, that's what I'm at. I had a teacher, literally one of the tests was, it wasn't multiple choice, which I do better at multiple choice than fill in the blank or whatever. But she had this thing where, take these two different time periods and talk about how they relate to each other. And I just thought, like not trying to be a bad student, I just thought, why? How does this help my brain? Like how you said, math is mental push-ups.
Yeah.
I feel that way. Even I can imagine somebody who doesn't like math can feel that way. It's like, okay, I do feel my brain working. With history, I'm literally like, I feel like a bad student. Why am I learning this? Not because history is not important. This isn't helping my brain get stronger.
But it is because even a question like that, it's logical. there is an answer. It is your opinion. A question like that would be, if a teacher's asking you a question like that, it's probably an obvious answer that they're looking for, right? But at its heart, it's an opinion-based question. So you say, what are the similarities and what are the differences? Well, you analyze each piece. You're like, okay, so how would which two, if you create, like, you're thinking, maybe like a relation. Okay, so you have the set of events here and their characteristics, and then the event here and its characteristics, and then you're saying which ones are most closely connected, and then you're like, that's a process. It's a logical, critical thinking process.
Okay, I can see
and
that.
So
I still hate it.
There's value in it all. That's why, I think there's value in the way our curriculum is set up, that you have to take different types of classes. Okay, because I can see where that would be nice for everybody. Except maybe in college, it's just a money grab. Honestly, I mean, there's no reason for my major, which was mathematics, that I had to take history, American history. I don't care. I learned nothing about it.
No, that's why I'm trying to just keep my head down, just try to focus, just to get to my dental classes, because that's where
there was a war. It was apparently civil. So I don't know why we're talking about it. It's civil. Like, we're civil right now. So I don't understand what was a big deal about a civil war, an uncivil war. You think you wouldn't even need to describe it. It's just a war, right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
And
I'm
you
kidding,
told
folks. I know the Civil War. Okay? I preface that with, I'm a man of the people. I'm a teacher. Okay, I can't have that out there that Mr. He doesn't know about the Civil War. It's a joke, comedy. Okay, but I'm just saying.
Don't quit your day job.
I didn't care about that. All right. But I needed to pay the money to take it to graduate from the university.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right, man. Well, hey, we did almost 2 hours and an hour and 40 minutes. Mike, thank you so much for coming on and sharing, first time dad and talking about all this. This is honestly, I love this. I'm glad you came on.
Thanks, buddy. That's it. Wait, that's it? We end on that?
I mean, if you want to touch on, I was gonna try to wrap the show, but no, you can. I'm sorry.
You got any other questions? How about another on fatherhood or something? I don't know. I feel like that's what a strange way to end. Is we just started talking about something that had nothing to do with being a father.
Normally gonna end with the advice, but see, that's what I like about my show. It's like I don't have it necessarily scripted. It's just. We're just gonna talk about what we talk about. Joker. I didn't plan on talking about Joker.
About your problem with vampires.
I didn't plan on talking about Dexter. We talked about Dexter. That was awesome. I love that stuff.
Your quarrel with vampires. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna go into that.
Get out. See, we can end on that. No. You know what? Let me add this.
Right.
How? I mean, I know you're still busy. You're always going to be busy with Olivia and stuff. Have you? I know you tried to write a book before. Are you trying to, kind of sit down and try to write something?
Not right now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there was that book. I wrote like 83 pages of it. Dang. And it sucked. It was horrible. I hated it.
You know what? More power to you, because that's 83 pages, that more than somebody has written. They're just talking about.
That's true.
Because, okay, I know I've said this 1,000 times, but one of the greatest advice with this show is the perfect example is, hey, DJ, or hey, Mike, how do I start X? You got to just start. Yeah. You got to start. I can't stress that enough. People are afraid of making mistakes. People want to have everything be right the first try, not make any mistakes. They're so afraid. Just start. Start accepting, be grateful for the mistakes. See it as like, all right, for every mistake is an obstacle to get better, and that just shows my improvement. And I will always say this, like, episode 1, 0 through 3 are trash of my show, but I'm gonna keep it. Because why? Because once I reach 100, even now, this is episode 12, better than episode 1 through 3. Like, it's not even close. But you got to start.
The guest has a lot to do with that too. I'm just kidding.
But you gotta start, and same with your book. It'd be so awesome because even when you started that other one, I remember you were so proud.
I was
And I'm not
so
saying,
proud.
yeah, and you would tell me about this idea you had, like, oh, this event that I just wrote. It, I know you can do it, but you gotta start, make a mistake, and then be like, all right, you know what? Let me go back and fix that.
Yeah,
But you gotta
absolutely. And you
start.
got to do it. You have to start and you have to do it while you're still passionate about it. Because if you don't get into it and start making it a habit, that's why it's so good what you're doing. You have passion about this. You started it and you're doing it consistently.
Hmm.
That's what I tried to do with
I
the
try to come
book.
out with an episode at least once a week.
Yeah, I tried to do that with the book. I was like, I'm going to write like 2 pages, or I think I was like, I don't know how many pages a day I was trying to write, maybe 5, something like
But
that.
you had a goal.
Yeah, I had a goal each day, and I missed 2 days in a row, and that was it.
Mhm.
It was done. I had no more passion.
Same with working out. Same with
Yeah.
eating right.
I read back what I wrote, and I was like, Also, it didn't help that my book was a murder mystery, and I had no idea how the killer did it. So that also,
I feel like you have to know first.
piece of advice: if you're gonna write a murder mystery, know who the killer is and how they did it before you start. Okay, that would be, I think,
I feel like
and how they get caught. I had none of that figured out. So by the time it got to the point where I needed to lead up to it, I was like, okay.
who directed Knives Out? Was it Ryan Johnson? I think he needed to know that because Knives Out was not that great.
Knives Out was a good film, but whatever, man.
It was all right. It wasn't trash. It was, but I knew who did it. I didn't know like how he did it.
I didn't know who did it. That was a good little twist.
Like I knew he did it. I was like, okay, I know you did it. I don't know how you did it, but I know it's you because you're literally the outlier out of everybody. It was so freaking obvious.
Oh, well, congratulations.
I just didn't know how he did it. I was just like, you're going to be the one.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. But no, again, thank you so much. If you ever,
That's a good spot to end on my failed book. Thanks, Dominic. That's a great place. You just, of all the things, you're like, here's a good end point.
but you know what? You know what? Now there's video document proof, and then one day maybe you'll read back or watch it back, and then say, you know what? Maybe that fire will get lit up again.
Yes.
But I want you to do it. Why? Because I can't wait for the day you start whatever project. It could be that book or it could be another project. Can't wait because I see this happening. I can predict this. You're going to finish that book. You're going to be in the process of finishing that book. And then you're going to be like, I need to come on to your show and promote it. And I'm going to be like, of course, come on.
All right.
And then you're going to be so excited to talk about it. And you're not going to want to spoil it because you want people to buy your book, obviously. But you're going to be so excited. And I'm going to be excited hearing you talk about it. So hopefully that lit a little bit of fire. But you got to start, dude. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Even though what I do is easy.
No fire has been lit. But if you become very big, I will ride your coattails. So I will take you up on that. If you become,
I know who my day ones are. I know who my day ones are. I really do know my day ones.
I was your day 0. You can check I was your day 0, and then I kind of skipped a few, but then I'm back, baby.
Well, like
you did great. You're doing great with this, pal. Keep it up.
I really appreciate that.
You know what? Somebody needs to put you in this chair. Maybe I can be guest host one day, huh? Ask you about your podcast.
Actually, I mean, I'm not gonna reveal it yet, but I actually do have a plan to doing that. But yeah, no, I'm open to the idea. Let me just put it that way.
All right. Let me get you in this chair, Chief.
All right. We got it. We got it.
Mainly because that one's more comfortable, but whatever. Okay, go ahead.
I offered you this chair. I'm sorry. Okay,
on.
I was about to cuss. All right, we need to end it here before I start cussing. All right, Mike, thank you so much. I will say this, just so I can get this on record. I give mugs to all my guests for the mothers and fathers, not everybody. I do apologize when I can get you a mug. I will get you a mug. I'm sorry. See, I'm human.
Dude, I would not have even known that if you didn't say
I thought you were you noticed from all the episodes.
You could have just waited till it was up.
I could have. I don't care. I want to get it on record.
I don't watch at the end. I watch all of it, and then when it gets to wind down, I'm like, okay.
I know who my day ones are. Anyways, all right. Mike, thank you so much. Do you want to say any last words?
All right. Thanks for having me. It's been a time.
Did you have fun?
Great time.
Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun. It was nice talking to you. Nice talking to you all at home. Okay. It was great, Dom. You did a great job. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for.
It's awkward.
I don't know why you're making this. Stop. All right. Well, thank you so much. You're making this weird. All right, we're done. We're done. This is a wrap. All right. Thank you guys. Take it easy.